All right, welcome back to First and Mad here at Mad Maddie's 8100 West Sahara in Las Vegas. I'm Brad Michaels with you, along with Jesse. And again, Floody is joining us. Good evening, gentlemen. How's everything going?
Christmas is good. Yeah, in the house. Yeah, I hope everybody had a great Christmas, and we got a new year coming up. And let's rock and roll.
Well, and the biggest thing is we're winding down the NFL season. We're getting ready to go into the playoffs. I got our playoff machine on ESPN here tonight. So as we go through our picks tonight, I'm going to put them into the playoff machine and see if anything changes in the seeding. Speaking of seeding, anything jumping out at either one of you guys that
I hate to bring it up and then the asshole.
Bring it up.
I love you, brother. And I thought San Fran was the team to beat. But when you turn the ball over five times, three, I think he had an interception in the first half. And that Baltimore teams didn't come to play.
And I thought you guys were going to do us a favor and give us a little bit of a cushion.
Help,
That's probably what it was. It was Miami can do the work on there.
Problem with Miami is our injuries. I mean, and had you told me at the beginning of the season that injury problems were going to mount up on the offensive side of the ball, I would have thought no, more of the defense, because we started out the year with the defense having some problems.
Either side of the ball, brother. Injuries kill a team left and right. You know what I mean?
Well, we have no interior offensive line. We bear in our left tackle he's playing hurt. Obviously, now we may be without Waddle for the rest of the season until the playoff.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill, he's got the ankle injury. Mostert's banged up. So I think this week there'll be a lot of Devon Achane and Jeff Wilson.
It's going to be interesting to watch, especially against that Baltimore defense.
I will agree 100% on that one, brother. Yeah, it's that Baltimore D is flying around. They made you look a little.
They made
silly.
They made the look
you know what that looked like when I sat there and watched it? It looked like you've had enough tape from last year and this year on Purdy, where Shanahan and Purdy might be caught in their game plans and their calls all the time, and the Baltimore defense read that every which way but loose.
They were all over it.
And they were all over it, man. And they
looked pretty insignificant.
Yeah.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant. Mr. Irrelevant.
All right.
That's all right. That's all right. One game. It's good to get it now. Get it out of the way now before the playoffs.
Well, you know what?
Get those
I
bad
will
games out of the way.
100% with you with that. I think your team will bounce back from that. This is a tough ride, though. I don't know if you cover the spread. You're like, I just left the book, and it's 13.5, I think, or whatnot. Yeah, at Washington. You know what I mean? But
it's one of those games with Washington. Here you go again.
Yeah. West Coast team.
Spoilers.
Traveling east, playing, but they did that when they played Jacksonville. They ended up smoking pretty good. They came off a bye week, coming off an ass.
Well, it was also coming off that 3-game losing.
Yeah, that was coming off that 3-game
when they went in there and pasted Jacksonville.
You're absolutely right. I don't know though if they, you'll handle Washington. You should win. Don't know if you cover.
Oh yeah,
it'd probably be a real ugly, sloppy kind of game if you guys know what I'm talking about, especially if weather.
Yeah,
has to do with you'll pull out the win, but you got to get guys healthy. You're this.
We're the ones
you're
with
going
the
in
worst injury situation
in Baltimore. In that it's
gonna be,
and nobody's giving us a shot. One guy over on ESPN, I think.
Yeah.
One guy might be smoking the right stuff. Let me tell you, I'm going to give you a shot. I really am, because it's a short week for Baltimore, right?
And coming off of this high.
Yeah, coming off the high.
Coming off a huge high win and everything else. It'll be the letdown. Yep. And you know what? I know there's a lot at stake. This also will probably be a little bit of an ugly game. Look for a lot of ugly games from now on in, because of maybe weather factor or whatnot. And just because teams are getting to that worn down period, and the injuries and all the other stuff are starting to add up.
You start talking about the intangibles, and you start talking about playoff pressure. Because look at this Miami-Baltimore game. It's a playoff game.
Oh, it's a playoff game.
Okay, because you're going for seeding.
Without a doubt.
So who's going to come out loose? Who's going to come out playing like they got nothing to lose, confident? You never know.
I think it might be Miami, though. That's what I'm saying, because
Everyone's counting them out, so they got
yes,
nothing to lose.
yeah, I mean, that's right. I mean, we go in there, you go in there as the Miami Dolphins and win this game. The Buffalo game becomes a whole lot more bigger than
Well,
two.
if we beat Baltimore, that's because our magic number's 1. So if we beat Baltimore, we've got the division. But we need to go ahead and win the next week in Miami against Buffalo, so we wrap up the number one seed.
Yeah.
There's crazy stuff going on. You gotta love it, because we thought maybe Seattle gives for him a little run, and then Arizona we always knew kind of sucked like the Patriots. Thank you. But the Rams
are coming on hard.
Rams are coming up. West Coast, East Coast, early morning. Huge favorites. Huge.
Oh,
favorites.
yeah.
They're in the same boat. 12.5. I think I got the book today.
I think we have the sheets.
But you know what? A team that's getting healthy and playing well and confidence. You guys own them. You got them next week, right?
Yeah, got them next week.
You own them, but
they're playing
let's
great.
hope you're not banged up. Let's hope it doesn't need you to win for the number 1 seed and for them to be the number 4 wild card team. You get 3 divisions and then the wild card.
No, 4 divisions, remember?
Yeah, 4 divisions.
4 divisions, 3 wild cards.
4 division winners, but 1 gets a bye.
One gets a bye.
You got the other 3, and then the number 1 wild card will play the 4th lousiest, like Tampa Bay right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, as it stands right now, Tampa Bay 4th
seed.
seed, Dallas 5th seed, the Rams 6th.
Yeah.
They are in there.
They
are in there right
the
now.
Giants and the Rams could be playing for something a little bit more to move up the wild card side, as opposed to you.
And don't count out Detroit. Detroit still has that chance of getting that number 1 seed, but we're going to play that out tonight. We'll see what happens. Right now, the seeding is Baltimore is currently 1st, as is San Francisco. You've got Miami number 2, Kansas City in the 3rd seed, Jacksonville in the 4th. 5th seed is Cleveland. I've already marked them as a win because I don't see this game going anywhere. Buffalo in the 6th seed, and Indianapolis rounding it out at number 7. Over in the NFC, obviously at San Francisco. Then you've got the Eagles, Detroit, Tampa Bay, Dallas in the 5th seed, the Rams 6th seed, and Seattle coming up there in the 7th. So last week,
three NFC
last week, Bloody. I meant to bring in the toilet plunger for you because you actually picked that Denver New England game perfectly because you said team with the ball last, and that is exactly what happened.
That is correct. But I think I ended up going with Denver. If you look at my circle, only because I thought Denver might have it last. But
you circled them both.
You circled them both, yeah.
Team with the ball.
Team with the ball.
Wait,
so you got that one.
This magic pen just takes Denver out of the equation.
so you got that one. So you were supposed to get the plunger, and I forgot it. So we'll bring the plunger in for you next week. You went 9-7 overall. Jesse and I both went 10-6, but Jesse edged me out with the total points on the Monday night game, Baltimore, San Francisco.
Yeah, I just saw that score being flip-flop, but it's all right.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that, though.
But anyway, so let's get to this week's games. I think we all kind of knew Cleveland was going to come in tonight.
Yeah,
playoffs on the line. They wrap up a playoff spot.
That was going to be an easy one.
So we knew Cleveland.
Given, and the sports books though were way off on the total.
Oh yeah,
because the total opened up at 36.5. They dropped it down to 33.5 at kickoff today.
Oh wow!
And I think the Browns went over by themselves in the first half, 34. So they were far-fetched on that one. They had the Brownies up to 7 points favorite.
We have a 7.5 on this sheet, which I printed out right before the show, so it had moved a little bit more. But of course, it depends on what book you're looking at, et cetera. So, all right, let's get to the big game this week because this has got some playoff implications. Like I mentioned, Detroit. If they can win out and a couple of things go their way, Detroit is alive for that number 1 seed. Yeah. Currently at the number 3. They go into Dallas. Dallas obviously plays really good at home. They can't play worth a crap on the road. And Dallas is mad.
Yeah.
And they're favored by 5.5.
I'm going to take a look at this. Is definitely a playoff game.
Oh, yeah.
Playoff teams. Yeah. I love the way Detroit started coming around again and everything else, but with the loss at Miami and the ass whooping they got in Buffalo, and they're coming home. This is going to be a shootout at the OK Corral, Dallas area, everything else. I think Dallas will win this game, but it's going to be a great game. And
It's gonna be
like
a
I
good
said,
game. Yeah.
are they going to show everything they got to go into the playoffs? Probably, because they need to. Both teams want the win. Both teams could use the win. I just think because of the home field advantage of being in Dallas, I like Dallas in this game.
I like the Cowboys as well. I'm not going to make a score prediction. I think this is actually going to be a fairly close game because Detroit. I mean, you're talking about a team that's what is Detroit? They're projected right now 11-5. If they win, that's if they lose this game, they'll go to 11-5.
Yep.
They'll move down. So they're 11-4 right now. They've got a lot to play for, but they got that monkey off their back from 30 years.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
They're
they
coming
finally
off a big
won
high
a division.
themselves.
And I didn't realize it. I guess I didn't realize that their coach, Dan Campbell, played for them back in that
Yeah,
0-16 season in
Yeah, I wouldn't
2008.
say-
So he's really proud of the job that these guys have done.
Oh, absolutely.
And to be the coach for doing that, it's a fantastic thing. But I'm going with Dallas this week. I just think they're going to come in and be ready to play.
I think Detroit going into Dallas, it's a hostile place to play. Like I said, Dallas needs to win. Detroit's coming off that big win, the high. The biggest side note of that, did you realize that there's only 4 players on the Detroit Lions team that were alive the last time they won the division?
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm not old enough to realize.
Oh, yeah, right. But yeah, I think Dallas takes this one at home. They, like you said, they play well at home. Hostile environment for Detroit to come into. Big game. I think Dallas pulls this one out.
I do too. Yep. All right. Big game. Implications for Miami. Probably maybe, I don't know, statement game for the Patriots. The spoiler role. Wouldn't they just love to go into Baltimore?
But as a little bit of a Patriot fan, Buffalo's playing well, and they're starting to get healthy, and they're playing well. The scary part is that they already lost to Buffalo, New England. New England coming off with, they were already told that they weren't going to win Denver. They've told they're probably not going to win out the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So, pack Mr. Belichick away, bye-bye or sayonara or whatever he's going to. LA Chargers, I don't know. And the Patriots are just believing in themselves. They have a good team all year long defensively. See what the weather has to go with this one. And you know what? I like Buffalo to win the game. I don't know if they shellac them like they have been doing. The one thing that I look at this game, you remember when Tom Brady used to play Buffalo or the Jets? Not so much Miami, but the teams in his division, and he knew he had 4 wins. Josh Allen has a little bit of that look every time he plays the Patriots. And he knows he's got that win. He better ensure it, get the win. Look to Miami, see for the division next week because they're probably planning on Miami losing in Baltimore. And this should be a pretty good game.
Is this one of those games you think, though, that Buffalo might have that
Look
mentality
ahead?
looking ahead?
That's what worries me about
Considering
Buffalo.
that they probably think, oh, yeah, Miami's going to lose to Baltimore. So next week in Miami, it's going to be for the division crown.
I would
playoff
probably
game.
say yes because it just falls in there. But I'm hoping the coaching staff turns around and talks to them and say, this is as important this game this week as it is next week against Miami. So you better get this win. I don't know if it's going to be the best game of the week and everything else could be ugly, especially if it snows up that way and it's cold and ugly. But I think somehow Buffalo at home ends up squeaking it out or pulling it out. New England might have a late touchdown to cover the spread. They're a huge favorite and everything else, but
13.5.
yes, you know what I mean. I if I had to bet the game, I'd take New England plus.
I would take
Plus,
New England.
plus
Say they get
13.5.
They got
Absolutely.
nothing to
off and they
lose.
run it back. Now you have 20.5 to nothing. They're going to score 3 touchdowns against a decent defense that knows you pretty well as a divisional rival, as who's looking to be a spoiler. I'd take the points.
Yeah,
I don't know if Buffalo covers, so I'm going to take Buffalo. But
and I think you could see more of a spoiler if it was flip flop. If we were playing in New England rather than Buffalo,
yes,
I think that would be a huge step. But I think in Buffalo with the fan base there, I think
It's tough.
they're not going to let those guys forget that they still want to beat the Patriots.
Always,
Yeah.
I agree with you. You think
Mhm.
they cover that 13 now?
I don't think they covered a 13 and a half.
I don't
Not,
know.
not 2 touchdowns. I don't think they get the 2 touchdowns.
You want to give a score out there, man?
Oh,
I'll
man.
give you, I'll give you one. If you
I
want.
say it's a 9-point victory. I think it's a 9-point victory for Buffalo.
That's pretty good, man. I'm going
Like
10.
30 to 21.
I was going more like 23-13. I don't know if New England could get up to 31, 21.
21 points.
Sorry, Patriot brothers. and fans, but I don't know.
It's going to come down to, I think it's going to come down to a defensive player too in the turnover battle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially because New England, what do they got to lose? They're going to go out there. They're going to be loose. They're going to be like, hey, let's
yeah,
just go.
absolutely. And that's what's the dangerous part. But I think maybe Buffalo can overcome that. And your deal 21-12, or my deal,
it'll be something.
23-13. I love you, brother, but I don't know about that 21 points. Give me.
He's giving me a lot of credit on that one.
How about you said 31-21? How about 28-18? It's usually up one, but I'm still
That's
pushing
possible.
it.
You're pushing it. Yeah, you're pushing it for that one.
They're down. It's 28-10. The Pats are down. They get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
To pull within
To
10.
pull it in.
All right. Well, I'm going Buffalo in this game. I hate to say it. I just don't see New
Yeah,
England
yeah.
pulling this one out.
No.
Now, here's a game. We're going to cover this one. Just because we're going to cover them
What
all.
the Falcon,
Falcons and Chicago.
I see
In
you give it a
Chicago.
little scratch though, but the Falcons are still
They're
playing
still
for
in
the
it. They're
division.
still in
aren't
it.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still in it.
They're still playing for the playoffs.
So there's a little playoff deal. Chicago surprised me last week. They really did.
Chicago's been surprising a lot.
Yeah, they have been.
And
I think they're going to surprise
they
Atlanta
could
this
be.
week.
Although I think Chicago is a
Chicago
slight
is a
favorite.
small favorite. They are a small favorite.
Yes, so it's not.
They're 3.5,
It's
which is
not a
basically home
spoiler
field
alert,
advantage.
but it might spoil the Falcons' chances for getting to the
what I'm
playoffs
looking
or
at.
the division.
I'm looking
That's
at
the only way
that
that I
as
think
you
the
do.
Falcons get in. Yes, I agree.
I agree with both of you guys. I think Chicago does come out and take this one, though. I don't see them having the
I'm with
firepower.
you on that too.
All right, our hometown Raiders on the road in Indianapolis. Indianapolis is favored by 3.5 in this game. So just like Chicago, they're
It's a
getting
home
that
field.
home field advantage. That's it.
You want to roll?
Raiders are on a roll.
I'm gonna go with this one, especially the way the defense played for the Raiders. I'm gonna take the Raiders in this matchup.
Yeah.
I think maybe they get a little bit better on offense. They basically won that game last week against the Chiefs with absolutely zero offense. I mean,
I am
What was it?
100%.
No completed
No complete-
passes
completed passes
after
in
the first
second
quarter?
half. Yeah, so, no, yeah, that's
after
right.
the
It was
first
after the
quarter.
first quarter. So, and then they only had 9 completed passes for the entire game. It was literally no offense.
I am sitting there though. I'm with you with the Raiders. They still have a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel to
They
make
do.
the playoffs.
It's
I
dim,
know Indy is trying to win that division.
but they're helter skelter.
and
Indianapolis.
that's what it
just 'cause
is,
That's,
and
I
this
picked
is,
Indianapolis last week, and they just
Woo!
Yeah.
might be a little bit of spoiler
I
alert
think
because
so.
they're a
Yeah.
dog. So I am taking the Raiders. No weather involved.
Yep, no
It's
weather involved.
indoors, indoor team going to an indoor team. The atmosphere and everything else. Pierce has got this team believing in themselves a little bit. It's shocking, it's surprising, but
I think he's making a statement
and
to
it-
get the job.
Yeah.
And I
Yes,
think his team
I
really
agree.
wants to keep him there. So
Yeah.
these guys, I think, are going to play
They're
hard.
playing
for him.
lights out.
I
they're
agree.
playing
I
lights
think
out for him.
they'll
And that
pull
did
out a
shuffle the playoff scenario here because it did knock Indianapolis out and it threw in
Jacksonville.
Houston.
Oh,
Houston. Oh,
Houston
Oh.
popped up into the 7th seed, but we haven't gotten to their game yet.
Okay. All right.
So now we've got LA Rams, an up and coming team,
Mhm.
on the road playing the Danny DeVito led New York Giants.
Is DeVito still the quarterback?
No,
No,
he is
right?
not.
He was
Taylor.
yanked last
No,
week.
Tyron Taylor has been
Tyrod
named
Taylor is
the
back.
starting quarterback. He is back.
That offense did look better with him, though.
A
It
whole
did.
lot
It
better.
looked a whole lot
I
better with him.
agree.
But DeVito did a good job for several of the weeks
He
there.
went, he went 3-3 in his 6 starts.
Yeah, something like that.
And
yeah.
you know what? In the NFL, that's an
That's-
accomplishment
that's
all in its own.
Especially with that roster.
The team is kind of flying a little bit behind Tyrod and everything else. They catch the Rams, a West Coast team, going to the East Coast and playing an early game. But I like the Rams. I think they have too many weapons.
Yeah.
And that D is just
And they
sneaking
want it.
around.
You can tell they just want it.
They want it a little bit more.
They
want it
do.
a little bit more.
So I will take the Rams in this game, in probably another one of those ugly games because on the East Coast, it's weather-wise, it's outdoors, and I think this weekend we're going to see some real ugly weather coming through the whole East Coast.
Before it
water
nor'easter
and
to
I'd
come
really love to take the Giants here just to mess with our friend TJ, just because he's fun to mess with his,
I
his
hate the
Rams.
Giants, a Patriot guy, 18-1. Tom Brady,
Or as I like to say, it,
18-1.
18 and no.
Yes, Dollfish. All right, but I will say, I will, and I don't. So I don't care for the Rams. I don't care for the Giants. I really don't care for either one of these teams. But I think there's more to it for the Rams
Yeah.
to win.
The
this
Rams have a
game.
lot more to play
They got
for
a
than
lot
the
more to
Giants
play
do.
for.
The
The
Giants are
Correct.
playing for pride. They're one of those spoiler teams.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening.
No, I don't see it
All right,
happening.
another spoiler team, but on the road. West Coast team going to the East Coast. Arizona at
Not a chance.
Philadelphia. Yeah, not a chance in the world for the Arizona.
Also on one of the biggest spreads. It means too much to Philly,
Yeah,
and
Philly needs it. Philly
yeah,
needs it.
Philly needs it, especially with
If Dallas
San
wins,
Francisco opening that
yes,
door a little
yes,
bit.
they did. They opened the door back up for them to get back up, and then Dallas wins, and they come back, and it opens the door for Dallas if they go down. So a lot to play for the Eagles here. And I think the Eagles will take care of business.
They'll take care of business. I
Yeah.
agree.
Eagles take care of business. That'll pop them
I don't know if
right
they
now
cover.
up into the number 1 seed, but we haven't
Ooh,
covered
yeah.
the San Francisco game yet. All right, New Orleans at Tampa Bay. Telling you, I would not want to be New Orleans going into this game. Tampa is hot. Baker Mayfield started out the season good, kind of went into a little bit of a lull, but he is playing lights out football right now.
Quick question: if either one of you have it, who won the first meeting between these two teams?
I'm not sure
Because I know they're not playing back to back.
No.
So
I
take a
can't
peek
remember.
on
I
that.
think
bring
New
that up.
Orleans.
Let me bring
I think
that
New Orleans won the first meeting.
It
If I'm
was-
not
I believe New
mistaken.
Orleans did.
it
Win the
was
first
in
one.
New
And it was
Orleans.
in
This
New
was in
Orleans.
Tampa.
That Tampa defense.
Oh, actually,
though,
no. It was October 1st, and it was Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay
26-9.
did beat them. Okay.
All right,
26-9.
that goes. Like I say, tough to beat a team twice in a year. You are correct that Tampa Bay and your boy Baker Mayfield are playing actually very well. The defense is playing very well. But didn't we talk about
pretty
it?
much the
One week they
defense.
look good,
And
the
then
next week they look
really
like
bad.
crap.
they're another team kind of like
Yeah,
Indianapolis.
yeah,
Like,
bounce.
Watch out, spoiler. If New Orleans can win the game, they throw themselves back in the mix to win in the division because that division is so just what the NFL wanted. What did they always want and ask for? Camaraderie.
Mhm.
They always want all the teams to be equal. Well, this is one of those divisions. If New Orleans goes in there and beats them, Atlanta wins, that puts those two teams back up in the race right there with Tampa Bay. And well, we won't talk about Carolina, but that's a three-way race with 1 week to
1 week
go,
to go, 1
and who's got who's playing head to head, and I'm telling you, this is probably one of the better games.
This is going to be a
This
good
is going to
game.
be a really good game.
Yeah, I really think so.
So you're going New Orleans?
I'm gonna turn around and go with the team that's got the ball last. You know it, brother.
Well, it's-
Oh,
you and me
Roman
For the
knows that.
playoff predictor here, I'm going to go Tampa on this game.
I'm gonna
just
go New
because
Orleans.
they're-
I'm going New Orleans.
I'm going New Orleans.
They'll have the
Yeah,
ball.
I'm
So
going
for
New
the
Orleans.
playoff predictor, we're going to go New Orleans on this game because you guys outvoted me. But I am, for our pick purposes, I'm going Tampa Bay. And just for that, I'm going to pick Washington.
All right.
Hey, That offensive line for the Niners is banged up, so I wouldn't be shocked. At
I
this
don't think
point.
you're half as banged up as ours is. So that does bring us to San Francisco, Washington. And that did that change anything? No,
No, I don't
it did
think
not
that
change
changed
anything.
This
This will, because if San Francisco wins, this puts them back up on I believe on top.
It was San
Um,
Fran to win the game.
I
Don't
don't
know if
think
they cover.
Washington has-
Ugly kind of game.
Not-
But,
I don't think they're going to cover 12.5 on the
I
road.
don't- yeah,
There's
I
a
don't think they
statistic at
Not
the
on the
beginning of the
road.
season. You do not bet, as a bettor, you do not bet road dogs that are underdogs by more than 10 points.
Yeah, yeah.
Just as a rule. It
But
just
this is
usually
a
does
road
not
Yeah.
happen.
favorite.
Road favorite.
And he
with, giving
Oh, no, yeah, I mean a road favorite.
Road
Okay.
favorite, yes.
But I don't even think as a favorite at 12.5 points, I would want to take them. I
It's-
mean,
it's a
it
tough
is
one, though.
Washington, but
Yeah.
look at what Washington has been doing. They're another one of those teams that just the bounce of the ball one way or another, an interception, a tipped pass here or there. Washington could have been an entirely different team than this 4-11 squad we
Yeah.
see marching out there. I think San Francisco wins it. I don't know about the 12.5 points.
No, yeah, I don't think they covered the spread, but I think the Niners do end up winning the game. I think there's just too many weapons on that side for Washington to.
Yeah.
And you know that Chase Young on that defensive side of the ball for the Niners wants to make a statement there.
Oh yeah, he
going back
does.
to Washington.
Oh yeah,
so.
he does.
I agree.
All right. On to Carolina at Jacksonville. This is a get it right game
Yeah,
for
it is.
Jacksonville.
It's gotta be.
You
If-
better get it right.
Better
What
get
is
it
the
right.
scoop though with Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence.
That was a tough call because of the high ankle sprain.
Mhm.
It can activate all the time. The thing is, though, look at them. Look at the Colts. Look at Houston. You got 3 teams, 8-7. They're tied for the division once again. Oh, the word I was looking for there, Roman. The NFL is looking for parity. Parity.
Oh,
Get the fucker out of here, King Lord. Parity crap. But they got it.
they've got
They're
it.
getting it.
They've
Yeah.
got
3
it.
teams in one division, all 8-7.
Yeah.
All the games mean something to them. Jacksonville better come and take care of business there. Carolina just sucks like the Patriots again. Might hear that one more time. Don't worry about it. I'm taking Jacksonville. They
I'm
better
taking
get it
Yeah,
right.
I think
and they
Jacksonville
better
wins,
win
and they got to get this
Just like
right.
I said,
If they
this
don't
is a
get
get
this
right
right,
game for them.
yeah, they don't get this one right this week. I mean,
Keeps them in that
the
fourth
6.5 point spread, give or take.
yeah,
They could win this game 21-14. They could win this game 45-10.
And I think they're
Oh,
another team that a lot of their star players now are suffering from injuries. We talked about Lawrence, whether he's got the high ankle, the shoulder injury. Christian Kirk, who is his go-to guy on third downs, has got the groin injury. There's a lot of injuries going on there in Jacksonville. So I think that you're finding out
Injuries
they're
are
not as
playing
deep.
into it a lot
Yeah.
this year, a lot more than I think in years past. I mean, this is something that for Miami, this is just par for the course. But you see all the other teams. I mean, you look at the injury list when they come out, and they're this long.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
scroll.
It's that time of year, and it sucks, but you got to play
Yeah.
through them. And
That's when you find out the great teams. The great teams are always deep.
yes,
Great
Yes.
teams are
yes,
always deep.
From
great
top to
call
bottom on
on
both
that.
sides of the ball.
Correct, sir.
All right. Let's go ahead. I'm not going to skip over this one on our list. It is next on our list because it is one of the early games. Miami at Baltimore. I'm going to let you guys take this one first.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm going to give Miami a puncher's chance. I know they're banged up. I know they're hurt and everything else. The circumstances in this game is that if you turn around and look, Baltimore just came off a huge win. Probably beat the best team in the NFC on the road on Monday Night Football and everything else. Short week, extra day of rest for Miami. Miami maybe saw some things in that game that, we didn't know Baltimore had that in their arsenal and everything else. This kid Jackson's playing as well as anybody else. He could be the MVP of the league the way
Well, you
he's
got the key to
playing.
that. You got to keep Jackson between the tackles.
And
If you let
they-
him get outside the tackles, he's gone.
Well, will Miami be able
Miami's
to do that?
got the speed at linebacker to catch him.
Really, they do, and they're going to need to do that.
Yeah.
They're going to need. And teams come out all the time. They put a hawk on them or a spy or something. They always got a guy who's supposed to. I think with the way this guy plays and everything else, you got to almost put 2 guys on it. I know it leads you into more of a man-to-man coverage, and Miami has that
They
speed
play that
to
man to man.
be able to do that too. So I think you might see that just to try and throw this guy off
Mhm.
his game. Like I said, it's a shorter week for them, and they're traveling back and forth. I give Miami a puncher's chance because it means a lot. They finally beat a team
Yeah.
over 500
They
last
finally
week.
got that monkey
Yeah,
out.
Oh,
yeah, that monkey out.
Got to get that monkey off the back. come to play Miami, and maybe next week's game against Buffalo won't mean so much. Lose this game,
Everything right.
division's on the line
Everything's
now.
on the line next week.
Absolutely. Instead of winning the division, having a home game for the playoffs, you now become the number 1 or number 2 wild card, and you probably got to play on the road.
Yep.
And guess what? You're going to be playing a team over 500.
Yeah.
So start.
On the road.
Yes.
Yes. So they got to. They got to do this.
Miami a puncher's chance. And guess what? Steve with the ball. You know who's coming
Well,
around.
that's how Miami won it last week against Dallas. 2 seconds left on that clock, and they kicked her through. So
Almost had my tie, did I?
I can't go
Colts.
against my team. Look, we went into Baltimore last year. That game was completely out of control, and we just punched them in the mouth and surprised them. Surprised me too. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I think Mike McDaniel's going to have this team focused. I know the injuries are mounting up. I think Miami's going to go in there and shock them.
I think, you know what? Talk about the injuries. There's injuries on both sides of the ball, especially with Baltimore. Baltimore's got some banged up guys. Zay Flowers, who we all know is Jackson's go-to guy, he's banged up.
Yep.
I'm with you guys. I'm actually taking Miami.
I am too.
I think Miami shocks some people.
Look at that.
But I do think they end up with the ball last, and I think it's a game winning.
It's another
field
one
goal.
game-winning
Yeah.
field goal, and
Game-winning
Jason
field goal.
Sanders, you better do it
Yeah.
again, buddy. All right, Tennessee
the
at
street guy.
Houston, and Tennessee is wearing their throwback Oiler uniforms this week,
Okay.
from what I understand. That's going to be interesting.
You know,
Now, this game,
So what you're saying is it's going to be just like the Oilers.
it's the Oilers versus the Texans.
Houston versus ex-Houston. This game, you know, it means a lot to the Texans. You know, Tennessee's out, but they're playing that.
Oilers.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
Spoiler alert! I'm thinking though. Once again, I should know these things, but you know, when you're out there smoking a little something, hey, what's happening? Who won the first meeting between these two teams? And it probably was Houston.
I think
Tough
it
to
was.
beat
I
a team
believe
twice.
it-
I believe it was
Yeah.
Houston.
Because Houston got on that roll. They've surprised a lot of people. I know, right now they're sitting at 8-7. They've lost.
Tied for the
CJ
division.
Stroud has
Yep.
been hurt and not playing. This is one of these. This is one of these games that's a little bit of a head scratcher for me because I don't know which team is going to show up for Coach Ryans this week.
Right.
Yeah.
And on the other side of the coin, you know that Tennessee is going to come in there looking to spoil your fun.
Spoil the
They're going to
fun.
run Derrick
And,
Henry.
And Houston did win the first matchup 19-16, so it was a 3-point.
pretty close
3-point
game. And they're at home. You know what? I just don't think Tennessee's got it. I don't think Derrick Henry has the
juice.
gas left in the tank right now this year. I'm gonna go Houston. Just because my gut's telling me Houston's going to win this game. They're gonna.
I'm
they're
on
gonna stay
Houston
in
with
this.
you on the home team.
I'm going to go the opposite.
Okay, brother.
I'm going to go with Tennessee in this game. Like you said, with all the question marks that Houston has, we don't know if CJ Stroud's going to play. I know he's still questionable. He was limited in practice.
Right.
I'm sure he'll be a gamer and he'll try to get out there.
Who's Tennessee's quarterback?
Tannehill.
Tannehill's back in there.
Ooh.
Tannehill's back.
That's-
Yeah. So I
Right,
think the
right
difference maker
there.
in this game, I think Tajay Sharp is going to be the difference maker in this game because they've been getting that kid
I
involved
did
more and
not
more.
know Tannehill was back.
Yes.
I'm changing my pick. I'm sorry, brother. I'm going with Tennessee also.
So you're
To
both
be
going
the
Tennessee
spoiler.
in this game.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I think they're spoiling it. I think Tennessee comes in there.
That, and we haven't gotten to this game yet, but that game right there, if Tennessee spoils that for Houston, right now that throws
No, never mind. I want the other team.
that throws
No.
Pittsburgh into the 7th seed in the AFC.
All right, Pittsburgh will take
Which
care of it.
We're coming to that game now. Pittsburgh on the road in Seattle.
Ooh, yeah.
I just said it's going to be a little bit of a rock'em sock'em.
Oh, yeah.
I know they brought in Rudolph, and
Yeah.
they seem to be putting up more points. That was the game about 2 or 3 weeks ago that I said at halftime, if you bring in Rudolph, they might have beaten the Patriots.
Yeah.
But sorry, Schittsburg. Going clear across the country. Seattle
That's tough.
still has that outside shot getting in
Mm.
there.
Seattle looked strong at the beginning of the season, though, and then they just kind of dwindled as the
Dwindled
season
on,
went on.
yeah. I think the
agree.
Geno Smith injury where they had to go with the
Now, who's-
Lockett.
is Gino back?
Gino is back now. He's
He
not
is
fully
back.
healthy though. He didn't look himself, but he is back.
I'm gonna in a real ugly
Yeah.
game. I'm gonna take Seattle at home.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh will knock themselves
Yeah,
out of
reluctantly, I think I'm going to take the Sea Chickens in this one.
Yeah,
Chickens.
I'm going to take
like
the
the
I'm going to take the Seahawks in this one as well, and that will knock. All right, here we go. That knocks Pittsburgh out and actually puts the Bengals in
Oh,
at
wow.
number 7.
Okay.
Wow.
And we'll get to
All right.
that game after this next one. We've got the Chargers at Denver. Chargers, nothing to play for. Denver, they're pretty much they've
Yeah,
thrown in the towel. They just benched Russell
they benched
Wilson.
Russell Wilson, so
Wonder why. Oh, did you see where the monies were? and stuff?
Oh yeah.
I wonder why. All
Yeah.
about the benches.
Well, there's
brother.
old Russell Wilson and the Bronco going down the road with that 150
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All about the
That
benches.
meme came out today. It's him and the
Oh.
OJ
You
Simpson
know,
Bronco.
I would sit there on this one if Herbert was playing.
Yeah.
But without Herbert,
They don't stand a
I
chance.
don't know about the interim coach. They suck. But
Oh, they're
does
bad.
Denver really want
Peyton
to
hasn't done
play a little
anything
bit?
this year. Who is the quarterback now in Denver?
It's going to be Jason Stidham,
Mm.
the ex-Patriot quarterback.
Patriot
Yeah.
guy.
Old
Here we come
Patriot
back
guy.
around again. You know what? He's going to prove himself a little something to maybe see if he still has
Well,
something. The kid isn't a bad guy.
Stidham played for the Raiders last year, and he
Yes.
looked
Yeah.
good in the one start he
Yes.
did have.
Yep.
So
I'm taking the Broncos.
I'm taking the
I'm
the
taking
home
Broncos.
team Bronco.
Yep, I got to go.
I
with
think the
defense
Chargers
is too good.
done. They folded it up.
Yeah.
The coach is gone.
Yeah.
They had a promising looking team. Injuries once again killed them.
Yep.
And
Yeah, it's
they're probably, if there's any guys on the team of the roster that ski, they're going there to Denver to go skiing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
It's the only thing you can do this
that's all you
weekend.
can do.
Yes, yeah, they're
That
not
team
going
is
to play
wretched.
football. Oh, let's get a couple of hotties in the hot tub. Ooh, here we go.
They're gonna be on the snow bunny hunt.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, this next game, it's going to have playoff implications. Obviously, Kansas City, they've knocked themselves out of the first seed. Obviously, they can't get that. They got Cincinnati coming in at the beginning of the season. I think we all circled this game as this was going to be a big one for probably number 1 seed in
Mhm.
the
That's
in
what
the
we thought.
AFC.
Correct.
Yeah.
And now you got Cincinnati trying to squeak in or to sneak into the playoffs, and Kansas City just trying to hold on. They're gonna win their division, but then how far are they gonna go? They're falling apart. And I think the loss of Eric Bieniemy, and I think the loss of Tyreek Hill
Starting to show.
last year,
Prove
it's
it a
starting
little
to show.
bit.
Starting
Yes,
to show.
I agree. And the crybaby from Roseanne over there. Stop it. So you got a couple of rings. Stop your crying.
Yeah.
You're done. You're not going back to another Super Bowl anyways. You heard it here first in almost 24. Kansas City's just reeling. And the dealio is, if they had Joe Burrow, they go in there and wax this
They
team.
would
But they
wax
don't have Joe Burrow. Woo, woo, woo. Little
Mahomes
bit
and
of-
company, are they going to get
Yeah,
the
a little bit of an alert.
that Kansas City defense was supposed to be so stellar. They're not there.
They look
Their
slow.
offense looks like shit. Yeah, I said it's shit. And I'm telling you what,
Well, they're one-dimensional. The
They're
only
right
guy
one.
you got is
that's it.
Travis
And
Kelce
they-
and
they-
Mahomes.
guess what? They've been exposed.
Yeah.
And guess what? Teams notice that. And Bengals D isn't all that bad.
No, I like the
Bengals
Bengals defense.
I do
Love
too.
the Bengals. They create
And
turnovers.
if they can stop, they get the turnovers and not turn the ball over themselves. I mean, the offense is kind of there. They put up a little bit of points. I'm going with Cincinnati. Pull the
I am
upset a
too.
little bit.
I'm going. I don't think it's unanimous because I'm thinking Jake Browning has a bounce back game.
Yes.
I think he has. I think he gets rid
Yeah.
of those turnovers.
The team has
I think-
confidence in them.
This Jamar Chase. Did they say anything about Jamar Chase playing this week? I know he's
haven't
questionable.
heard. I know he's questionable. I probably game time decision.
Yes,
I'm
I mean,
thinking with
If
him.
he's a gamer, I really like.
If he's
Cincinnati.
in, yeah.
I really
If
like.
he's in,
yeah,
but I like
yeah,
Cincinnati
yeah.
anyway. Their defense is playing a lot better. Kansas City's just they're falling apart.
Yeah.
They're falling
Yeah.
apart at the
Well,
season.
you know, if
And they're infighting.
Kansas City might have a chance if Patrick Mahomes clears his eyes from all the tears, from all the crying.
Wait.
Come on, get out there, guy.
Got to. You're starting to look like Tom Brady.
Every every time he hits the floor now, he's looking for a flag. Come on, man. Get out of here.
The old line from the first Top Gun. Mother Goose, you pussy.
Yeah.
Jeez, come on.
All right, Green Bay pretty much out of it. Well, actually, both teams, Green Bay and Minnesota, 7-8. Minnesota at home. This is one. This is a toss up.
This is a toss.
Another ugly game.
It'd be an ugly game.
Yes.
Nick Mullins, they get a lot of passing yards, but he also turns the ball over a ton with the way he plays. Man, that's a tough one. Green Bay is starting to gel a little bit.
Can you tell me quick who won the first one?
Oh yeah, I can tell you on the first one. Let me
See
see.
who won that first game.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Green Bay won that one.
Minnesota won
But did
24-10.
why am I thinking Green Bay won that?
I don't know. Yeah, I think that was wasn't that during the
no weather.
Pasternot rain?
When Minnesota, when Kirk Cousins went down, we all thought, okay, that's it.
Yeah,
Their
it was
season's over with. And then
Dobbs looked
Dobbs
okay.
came in and he
but
looked great for 2 games, and then now we know why Arizona didn't want him.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is just I got to go home, just home team. I know I would give Minnesota the win both times, which is kind of rare within your division.
Yeah,
that
within your
that
division,
you
yeah.
don't split. I just think Minnesota looks a little bit stronger defensively. Brian Flores has got those guys balling.
Defensively, that's where it's going to be at. But I think I'm going to go with the hot team. I don't play the team that's on a little bit of a nice little run. I'm going to take the Packers in this one. I think Jordan Love and this young wide receiver core is really starting to gel together. I think they're going to get this going, and I think Green Bay takes this one down.
team with the ball last. It's the Green Bay Packers.
Well, this has no playoff
Oh,
implications
yeah.
at all, no
No,
matter which
No
team
matter what
won.
team wins.
So we
Just
rounded
bragging
out our
rights.
picks, and right now the only thing really shuffled was Seattle hanging on for the 7th seed in the NFC. Miami, if they beat Baltimore, their number 1 seed if the season was to end, and they would be the AFC East champions because their magic number is 1. And the Bengals, they snuck into that 7th spot and knocked the Chiefs. Well, the Chiefs are 3rd.
Yeah. Well,
That's pretty good.
It's going to be an
See
interesting
if
year.
the Bengals get in there. I
That's
mean, I liked them back a few weeks before Joe Burrow got hurt.
Yeah.
They
when
pull
Burrow
out-
got hurt, that changed an awful lot
Changed a lot.
in regards to that.
It's just a weird team because I don't know if you want to play them in the playoffs.
They got a lot of offensive weapons.
This is another team tonight. The Brownies.
The Brownies.
out there,
I don't want to play them in the playoffs. I don't think anybody wants to play the Bills in the playoffs.
No, Bills also out there to step. Hey, your Brownies just clinched the first playoff berth in since
100 years.
1960, before I was
But
born.
that's a dangerous team. I know I would not want to play them in the playoffs. That defense is rolling.
The Brownies.
All the
If
Brownies.
and we just talked all of these teams we're talking about: Cleveland, Buffalo, Cincinnati. All of these teams are 5th, 6th, and 7th seeds right now on the playoff predictor.
You know those Italians from New York right over there, Roman? Joe Mama, Joe Flacco. Oh, he has.
He's got a little
has
juice
the
left.
trophy once
He's
more.
got a little juice left.
Yeah,
So he knows how to get
they
to
know
the promised land.
He's
Baltimore.
got
They don't like
he's
each
also
other.
got a little
They
bit of
don't-
that pizzazz. He's got you just tell he's on a mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
man.
I wasn't
Oh,
done.
Right, absolutely, and he knows what it's like to taste that trophy. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not be a little weary of that team there, Miami and
Weary of any of these.
Yes,
Baltimore?
yeah.
Let me tell you.
Now, here's the interesting matchup because the way that this works, Miami, the way it is right now, Miami has the number 1 seed. They have the bye. Cincinnati, the 7th seed, has to go to Baltimore.
Remember, folks, that's his computer, Miami Dolphish fan.
But it's not my playoff.
Oh,
It's
okay.
ESPN's playoff predictor.
And I get some oceanfront property for sale. Okay, pal. Let's take it easy now. If that's the case, since they're going to go to Baltimore,
They got to go to Baltimore.
know them very well too.
Yeah,
Division
the
foes.
Division foes.
I mean, it's kind of scary the way you look at that, though. But if that's the way that comes out, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati
All
all
made the
in the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Well, and
3
Buffalo goes to KC.
Ooh.
I think Buffalo could win that game.
I think
Yeah,
that.
and I
absolutely.
also think
Yeah.
Cincinnati could squeak out something weird in Baltimore. You can love that as a Dolphins fan. What's the other matchup?
The other matchup would be
Cleveland-
the 5th seed Cleveland against the Jacksonville
Jacksonville.
Jaguars in Jacksonville. I think Cleveland goes in there.
I
and
think
Oh, yeah.
Cleveland
I think the
could
defense
very
is
well
strong,
go
yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, nice to see what the next shuffle might be.
Yeah, exactly.
now,
That-
do they when you shuffle it? Does the Dolphins get the worst seeded team?
They would, well, yeah, because if we,
You know what I mean?
if our
Yeah, they-
prediction that Cleveland or that Cincinnati could go in there and
and beat
upset Baltimore,
then
Cincinnati would go to Miami.
and the other two would match up.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be any which way.
Yeah.
and Buffalo at that point would host.
Would
No,
No, they-
Cleveland would host
Cleveland would
Buffalo.
Cleveland,
Cleveland,
Buffalo, right?
Yes.
Oh, nice matchup there too. Wow, right across the
Two
lake. and
cold
shit.
weather teams.
Oh, that'd
Oh
be good.
man, you know what? I hope it comes out through that way.
I do.
Really,
That'd
I
be good
think it would
football to
be
watch.
Good
That'd be
football
some
and,
good football to
everything
watch.
else. I know a lot of Baltimore fans don't want to hear
No,
us talk
no.
about that and everything else. Lamar when he gets in the
It's always kind of interesting
Lamar
though
when he
to
gets
see.
Always struggled.
Lamar in the
He has
playoffs.
struggled in the playoffs.
He
has
does it, that,
always.
folks.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, he
You
struggles
know
in the
what?
playoffs.
The way the playoff machine is showing it right now, we got some interesting matchups
Yeah.
in the AFC. Let's run down the NFC right now. We got San Francisco in the number 1 seed, and so they would have the bye. You would have at this point, you would have Seattle going to Philadelphia.
Well, that'd be a good matchup.
Good
That'd be a
matchup.
good
And you know what? They just played a couple of weeks
Birds
ago,
versus
and
birds.
Seattle came back. Bird versus
Yeah.
bird. The West Coast bird will get plucked
Yeah,
in this one.
yeah,
I'll take the Eagles in
Yeah,
that one.
I would
exactly.
too.
That
Absolutely.
doesn't fare any well for Seattle.
And the Rams sneaking into the 6th seed have to go on the road play Detroit.
Ooh, wow. Quarterback.
Quarterback swap.
They were swap playing against each other. Both teams really playing well, high-powered offenses. What a great playoff game.
That would be a great.
I
playoff.
did not know that one, man. If that came down to it, I just like Detroit being at home, but I think the Rams, just the way they're playing,
Might have a
That's
chance
a
if that
great
was. that'd be a-
playoff.
yeah, that'd
Well,
be a
I'm,
great
I'm
This
like
is
you.
a
You got
Patriot
golf
guy.
versus
Stratford,
golf,
Stratford.
yeah, Stafford, yeah,
Stratford that was there could never get over the
Yeah,
hump.
Stafford never got
Yeah,
over the
but
hump.
he goes to LA and wins some championship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Goff, who kind of got booed
I
out of
believe
there.
He
has
got a bad break
resurgence
in
with
LA.
a great coach and a great home team.
yeah.
I think I'm look at this as a Patriot.
That's,
I'm really
excited about it.
excited
That's a good
to
matchup
hear
to
that
watch.
matchup because, as I'm saying, for any guy, you'd like to see the Rams get knocked out. I think you will.
Yeah.
But Detroit would be all fire.
Yeah.
What's first playoff win in since
Oh.
19?
Yeah, first
30?
home
Since
home
I don't
playoff
know.
game since
I don't know.
'93.
I'm excited about that one. I hope it folds out that
probably
way.
their first playoff win since Barry Sims was a twinkle in his daddy's eye.
Yeah, that's all out of the condom. I don't know, man. Jesus,
I opened myself up to
killing
that
me,
one.
Roman.
You did. You
You're
totally
killing me,
opened
Roman.
yourself up to that one.
All right, and the final matchup, if the playoffs, if our predictions play out, we've got Dallas, the 5th seed in Tampa.
Tampa.
Dallas doesn't like to go to Tampa. But that
Dallas
was when
doesn't like to
Tom-
go on the road.
No, that's correct.
Yeah.
And that was maybe back with Tom Brady. But Dallas doesn't play well on grass.
No.
So it's
no.
grass on the road. That's a good
That'd be
matchup.
a- that would be a
That
good
would be very
matchup.
entertaining.
These are all
to
good
see.
matchups right
Yeah,
here.
especially with San Fran sitting out.
No,
there.
of course. Absolutely. That's watching at home. I'd love to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, great matchup.
Let everybody beat each other up. We'll just saying back.
Suckers over here. Come on, Roman. Come on. Home field advantage. 8,100 Mad Maddies
There
on
you
West
go.
Sahara. There's home field advantage.
There's home field advantage right there.
Nice win, Steph. You're kicking ass.
34-17. No change since
No
the
change in
halftime.
halftime.
That
No,
ball
no
game
changes
should be
halftime.
over.
It is. It's over.
The Jets
Yeah.
get no
And you can
offense.
stick a fork in the Jets.
Yes.
They live up to their name, Jets. Suck, suck, suck.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go. We got some time here, guys. We got about 10 minutes. Let's go and let's, with our playoff scenarios we just talked about, let's go ahead. Let's talk about that Cincinnati-Miami game.
Oh.
Oh,
If
okay.
Cincinnati goes into
If the
Baltimore
Cincinnati
and gets
wasn't
that
going to
upset.
get that upset. Ooh,
Wow, that's good confidence for them, but it's in Miami.
he'll be in Miami.
Miami gets the week rest. Miami gets the number
I
one.
think they
And they
handle.
need
I
that
think
rest.
they will handle them. I mean, there's some great offensive players and punches over there with Cincinnati. If there's Joe Burrow, I'd be telling you
Yeah,
something
it'd be
different.
pretty different.
Well, Joe Burrow
But-
and a healthy Jamar Chase, yeah, it would be a
Yes,
totally different.
yes,
But the
yes.
Miami defensive secondary is pretty
It's playing
good when
pretty-
you
it's
got
playing pretty well.
Ramsey and
I
Howard
think
back
with you have a great defensive backs over there in Miami. If like I said, Joe's not going to be there, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
And Chase, if he does come back, is he going to be at 100%? Probably not. The team of the past that we saw that Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl with Mix and all those guys,
Right.
Chase and all the everything else, they give Miami a hell of a game and probably could maybe almost beat you down there. But if that's the scenario right now, and the teams we're looking at, and the health, and you guys need that week of being off
we need it.
to
Yeah.
get your guys healthy, maybe is Waddle definitely gone for the year?
No,
No,
okay.
as a matter of fact,
Waddle's
McDaniels even said I wouldn't put anything past him. He may play this week.
yeah.
Well, okay. It gives Tyreek another week to get some
Mhm.
physical therapy done, and let you run it back to Mostert.
Mostert,
Yeah,
banged
Mostert,
up
Yeah,
all
yeah,
over.
so let him get a little extra.
All three
Yeah.
of well,
And I
Mostert
think-
for the shin, and then Tyreek and Jalen Waddle with the
Yeah.
ankles.
I actually think if that's the case, and your offensive line gets a little more physical therapy, and that's huge this time of year.
Yeah.
With the week off, I think Miami would handle.
Yeah, because
Cincinnati.
if the Bengals went in there and upset the Ravens, that'd be a
There's
tough.
gonna be
It'd
that
be a tough
emotional letdown too.
yeah, it's going to be a tough game, and the emotions would be high. And
And Miami would be flying high.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
we got
And
okay.
it'll be winter weather, 75 and
yeah,
beautiful.
75.
Yes,
There.
yes.
I like Miami.
Buffalo at Cleveland.
Give me the Brownies.
Oh yeah.
Give me the Brownies. I'm going to take that defense.
Wow.
Defense
I would
wins
take that
championship.
defense
Once again,
also.
another. I hope it comes out this
Oh.
way. Great game.
Yeah.
Great game. Buffalo resurging again a little bit, making its way to the playoffs, getting to which they all wrote them off and everything else. I love this Cleveland defense and everything else. Buffalo turns around. Who they beat the first week? Kansas City.
Buffalo would, they would upset KC.
Upset
Yeah.
KC, and that would be a huge deal because I don't think they've been able to knock. KC's always been their deal, and
KC's
watch
been their
Cleveland
nemesis,
come right
yeah.
around from the backside. Whoop! See you later.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Buffalo. Go back over the lake.
And that brings us up to a Cleveland Miami AFC championship.
Wow,
In Miami.
in
In Miami.
Miami. Wow, with that defense and everything
That
else.
defense there, that defense.
Joe
is,
Flacco been there. He stays
I'm
healthy.
Stephanie and I
He
would
gets-
not be talking
He
for that
gets
entire
well, you know what?
That's gonna be a tough one.
That's another super
tough
great
one.
matchup. These matchups are awesome. As you see, you as a Patriot guy, not even in the playoffs in here. Guess what? If Cleveland turns around and gets the way they're getting, that Cleveland defense could stifle you as they have done before. And pull out
could
a
very well.
They could sneak
win
out a win
there.
there.
And the Cleveland Browns in
In
the
the
Super
Super
Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Stephanie, stop getting excited. I'm over here, but don't get excited.
I really think they could because you know what Joe Flacco's on. Joe Flacco can get you to the
He's
Super
on a
Bowl.
mission.
I
Right.
said that
Tua
earlier.
is the one you don't know about.
Right.
Is he going to live up to it or is he going to fold?
Or they're going to throw a defense at him that stifles him,
exactly.
makes him look like a little kid and everything else.
And he does get flustered.
Yeah.
You see him get
Yes.
flustered, and then he's just off. He was
Yeah.
off last week against Dallas.
You throw
Just-
his timing off with his receivers, that offense looks completely different. So
That
and
scenario there,
I think
the Cleveland
Browns
Browns are
could-
going to the Super Bowl.
I think yeah.
Woo!
I think the Browns-
Stephanie, Cleveland Browns go to the Super Bowl. Woo! Woo! Let's try the NFC.
Now it's to the here we go. Now we got the NFC. So San Francisco, we said that Tampa would beat Dallas.
Yes.
Well, did we say that?
Yeah, we like that. We like
kinda
that.
did.
We like
that's
that.
right.
The whole
Dallas doesn't like
field,
playing on grass, home
on
field, they don't like
grass,
Tampa.
everything else.
Okay,
Another letdown for Jerry World.
Mhm.
Jones.
so you've got Detroit still in there. So this was all the top seeds are still
Yeah,
still
this one, yeah,
left
it would be
in
the
the
top
NFC.
seeds, yeah.
So now you've got Tampa having to go to
To
San
San
Francisco,
Francisco.
and you would have Detroit going to Philadelphia. So let's cover Detroit and Philadelphia first.
That's a good one right there.
That's,
a good
oh
one.
yeah,
Those are all good games.
that'll be good. Home field advantage being outside. Detroit indoor team.
Yeah.
I had to, yeah.
Detroit fired up after getting their first playoff win or making the playoffs in God knows how long.
And making the NFC Championship for the first time
the
since
Philadelphia,
they lost to the Washington
Yeah,
Redskins.
the Philadelphia Eagles don't look like the team of last year, but with that home field, outside, everything else, I think Philly's got enough to take care of Detroit and just keep them at bay. You know what I mean? They'll win the game.
Setting up a
It should
very
be a really
interesting
good
matchup.
game, but like a 27-24. I don't know if Philly can totally stop that offense. Maybe they can, but they have the advantage of being at home. And I think Philadelphia wins that game.
And if this plays out like that, now you got Philadelphia, but they now the number 2 seed. I don't give Tampa any chance. I give them a snowball's chance in hell of being able to go on the road to San Francisco and handle the 49ers. So that's going to set up a repeat of last year's NFC Championship game, and Purdy is going to be healthy. We hope.
We hope.
I don't know.
And
I think the Lions take the Eagles.
he wants the Eagles out of the equation, folks. That's the real deal from San Fran.
You don't want that. You don't want that rematch. Huh? You're not confident on that rematch.
Well, yeah. Listen, it's one of those catch-22s. It's me and my best friend. He's a big Eagles fan, so that's always a tough one to watch with us.
and you do have you beat Tampa.
Yes.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, they'll handle Tampa.
Yeah, they'll handle Tampa.
And then, but was last year's NFC Championship game in Philly, or
It was in Philly.
It was.
It was in
this
Philly.
one will be in San
This one will
Fran,
be in Frisco. Yeah.
and Frisco gets that extra week of getting healthy. That's a really good
That's it,
record to see that same 2 teams again match up and see a different team
And
go
yes,
to the Super
especially
Bowl.
after what happened
Well, yeah, especially last year with no quarterback. They
Yeah,
were
McCaffrey handing the
McCaffrey
ball
was
off at the end of the game.
exactly. It was brutal to
So
watch.
if we roll on that, and it's San Fran playing Cleveland, didn't Cleveland beat San Fran this year? That 3 teams.
Wait. I didn't say
Oh.
Cleveland going in.
Oh, he's still pulling. That's all.
I
He's
got
going
to.
for the Dolphins.
I think this brings up a Super Bowl 19 rematch. San
Oh,
Francisco
there you
and
go.
Miami.
Nice.
Oh, well, you lost that one too, didn't you?
Oh man.
We'll be back next week without Buddy.
I'll be in sunny Miami.
Ouch. Don't bring that ball game up.
Until the Cleveland Browns beat them.
Oh. All I remember of that game is Dan Marino will be back. Don't worry.
Oh,
Hey, Dan's really cool about it, though. He gave everybody in the quarterback room, he gave them isotoner gloves for Christmas. Seriously, he gave them isotoner gloves.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not there. I want to be in San Fran's locker room where Christian McCaffrey gave his whole offense new golf clubs.
Yeah, new golf
How
clubs. Yeah,
sweet is
how
that?
sweet is that one? Yeah.
Yes.
Did you see what Tyreek Hill gave his every guy on the team?
Burger King.
Scooters.
Oh, the scooter.
They're all playing around on their scooters at practice.
No,
now
no,
at
no.
McDonald's, I don't know.
Yeah,
Burger King. Scooters, huh?
Yep.
Oh, good way to get your
Yeah.
offensive lineman 350
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
pounds.
Get him
Falls off the
hurt.
scooter, breaks his arm. He's out for the playoff. Come on, Joker. This town needs an enema.
He didn't want to buy the golf carts.
Yeah. Somebody did give some. There was a player, so I can't remember who it was though, but he gave his offensive lineman golf carts.
Well, a golf cart's a golf cart.
Yeah.
You're sitting in, you're driving. If you're an asshole and you start running
Yeah,
over
right.
curves, you think you're doing wheelies and spin outs. Yeah, well, you're going to get
That's
hurt.
only you out
That's
at
what
Angel
Bloody
Park
did on
on
the golf
Saturday.
course,
Yeah.
I was there yesterday, man. And I was driving.
They called today.
Right,
They said you
easy.
can't come back.
Those people at Angel Park, I'm telling you. I played in Rose Ranch.
Great
Yeah.
course, though. Great course. One of only 2 golf courses out here in Las Vegas that are lit on their par 3.
No, yeah.
So you
Angel
go
Park,
out
yeah.
and play under the lights when you're lit.
Yeah.
So
I've been
Well,
there.
yeah, exactly. We've all been there.
Like tonight. Hey. How are you looking, Roman?
I think that just about wraps up our show for this week, guys. Any closing thoughts, either one of you?
Yes, I do. I hope you all have a very happy new year. All your wishes come true. I won't be here next week. Not because Brad said I was, because I just won $700 million in the lottery. See you.
Everybody be safe, please.
Happy
Well,
New Year. From all of us here at First and Mad and Mad Maddies, we'll see you next week right back here on First and Mad. Good day.
Come on, moves, moves and such. Some would say that boy right there is touch. Do we maintain? Nah, not too much. Situation getting too hard to clutch. Yep, it feels like I fall and it can't get up. I gotta hold my head, man. I can't